PALT on watch. PLT, I was actually going to take a trade here. I don't trade pre-market. Basically, the majority of the time I don't trade pre-market. I've only taken, for my entire time trading, probably like 4 trades pre-market. I think 1 or 2 were accidents. So, what's it called? PLT looks really good. I mean, it's been climbing all morning, so this one's definitely going to be on watch. Besides that, we don't really have much else on watch. We got BLIN. I mean, that one's it's coming up to its 50. It's not looking like the best, especially because it's dipping pre-market. It's below view up now. GROM, or was it GRIM? GORM. I'm not sure. There was another one that was on watch, but for some reason it's not on my scans anymore. I don't know what happened there. PLT. So PLT is basically our leading gapper today. It's the only one that's really, I don't know, doing anything. Everything else is kind of just done. Besides that, we just have BLIN, and that one, I mean, it already looks kind of garbage. BTBT. This one's climbing up, but it's a gap down reversal. It doesn't really look the best either on the daily. I don't know. ALT, ATR, ALF. Yeah, no, so it's just gonna be PLT. If something else pops up on the scans, then we'll watch that. But I think majority of the day we're just gonna be watching this one. This is the one with all the volume. 5-minute doesn't look clean though. 10-minute looks pretty good, but 5-minute doesn't look the best. So maybe wait for another 5-minute candle, and then we can see a surge past the high here of 1135. It's probably gonna rip at the open, take off, and then fall back. Because that's usually what happens. If this goes straight into a halt, that's just gonna be insane to me. But let me see, is there any news on it? Okay, there's no news on it today. So here we're gonna see the break of the 1-minute candle. See how high this rips. 1130. $40, $50 now. There's open, we're in 60, 70. And there's the drop. Back down to 20. Let's see if it breaks below 11. There's a break below 11. AMTX is popping up on the scans as well. So PALT, nasty drop from 1170 all the way to 1080. That's why I don't trade the first minute usually. Yes, there's opportunity here for sure, like for sure. But I don't want to risk it. I used to in the past. I used to trade the first minute and stuff, but when the market was bad, it just really did some damage to the account when I traded the first minute or two. Now I just wait. BLIN's popping on the scans. I'm not gonna check it though. Spreads are kind of big right now on this one as well. That's about 5 cent spreads here. Kind of disappointing if it doesn't hold this level, mainly just because it's been climbing all pre-market. I'd like to see it hold at least, but not even the 10-minute looks that good. I think this would have been way better, honestly, if we had seen 3 candles pull back and then at the open we see this huge surge. That would have looked really nice, but I don't know. There's a rip to 1130. 1140 now. 70. That's insane. Jesus. And then it's all the way back down to 20 now. Jeez, now it's back to 1070. That's That's why I don't want to trade this one. It's so risky. BTBT is making a move here though. Wow, BTBT looks really clean. On the 1 minute at least. 10 minute, same thing. Alt levels pretty close. Whether it's going to go into one or not, no idea. I'm going to wait for a pullback on that one. BLIN's also moving. Not much. What the hell? I don't know why that's on the scans. I think PALT, I'm gonna have to wait for a 5 or 10 minute setup. I think that's just what it's gonna have to be. BTBT, I want to pull back on it so we can see a potential entry. Maybe some sideways consolidation here. Big seller right there at, I guess they just moved. At 18, there's another one. Not a huge seller though. We have a bigger buyer over there on the bid at 7. 130 share buyer there at 7. Let's go PALT once more. PALT, 3 big red candles in a row, all rejecting 1150. BLIN's popping on the scans, but I'm not gonna pay attention to that one. I was just popping up for no reason, kind of annoying. So BTBT here is kind of dropping below 7. Spreads are huge. Well, they were, but it's about 5-cent spreads now. There's 705 by 694, so it's kind of choppy price action here. Let's go to PALT for the 5 minute setup, see what this wants to do. 10 and 5 minute look nasty, both look gross. Depending on what PALT does, I mean, I might just not even take a trade today. I was hoping for a better 5 minute, better 10 minute, but kind of tempted to take a trade here to get back above 11. I'm gonna buy in here 500 shares with a break of 11. Selling there at 92. Well, I was going for the break of 11. It broke 11 really quick and then just dropped. So that sucks. Had to sell, really short there. So really no profit on that one. False break. It actually hit 11 and then just dropped immediately. I got nervous because I was like, ugh, I don't want to hold that. I gave it some time to try and I gave it a little time to actually try and break over, but I mean, I gave it like what, 3 seconds? Nothing happened, so I just sold it. As soon as I seen that flash down, I was like, I don't want to see that. Now it's below VWAP, and that's not looking so hot. What I'd like to see on this 5 minute though is if it can, if it can dip below VWAP like right here, that's fine. But I want to see it climb back to 11 and at least start curling. Doesn't look like it's gonna do it though. It's already below 1050. 10 minute also looks pretty disgusting. So I think PALT is kind of just done for right now. It'll probably curl later in the day, but I think right now it's just done. BLIN's also done. This one doesn't look good at all. BTBT. BTBT is fading below VWAP now. EEIQ. No volume in it. NCNA also gross. OG. No volume. Ride. Okay, Ride doesn't look so bad. A lot of volume coming in there. Five-minute already broke. See if we can get a 2 candle pullback here. I'll probably take an entry for a break higher, but I'd rather wait for the 10-minute. Not even sure where there's resistance on this one. Check the daily. So we're already coming up to 1. You're at 8, 90 or about 9. guess our next point would be 10. Should have room up to 10, yeah. And then from here, it's all the way up to about 1150. Yeah, somewhere around there, which is its 200. So I think this has potential to its 200. And that was ride. So we'll keep ride on watch. I'm gonna keep checking on PALT though, just because this one, I mean, I want to keep an eye on it just to make sure it doesn't curl towards the end of the day, or start curling right now and I miss a whole move. I want to see, like I said, a small pullback on this one. It can hold this range on the 5 minute. I'm fine with that. If it can hold this range and not pull back significantly, we can go for the break of 9. It just needs to continue sideways here for a minute. Let's check on PALT. PALT is crawling back above VWAP. The only thing I don't like is the 10 minute. The 10 minute looks pretty bad. So even if it got above VWAP and hit 11, I mean, I don't know. I still think the 10 minute looks pretty nasty. A huge rejection. There's so much red volume in there. I don't know how many red candles we have in a row here, but so it could have been a pullback, and then now it's gonna flush or keep dropping. But let's go back to ride. So if this candle can actually finish high, then we can get in for the break of 9. But I'd like to see it finish high. Because I don't like the 5 minute candle now on it. It's pulling back a little too much now. There's VWAP already. Let's see if it breaks 50. No, ride looks kind of bad. I don't like those breaks. They break right away and then just sell off immediately. That definitely wasn't the price action yesterday. Maybe in the afternoon. I know it popped up in the afternoon yesterday. I didn't get to trade any of it, but I definitely didn't like. Well, it definitely wasn't the same as yesterday. Yesterday it was kind of easy, and it seemed like it was the buyer's side majority of the time because there was so much support. But here it seems like there's a lot of sellers just waiting for this thing to pop, just to tank it. There's a break of 11. Like, this is insane. That's an insane move. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's shorters already trying to short it right here, because that's just insane. 1060 to 1160. I never would have guessed it actually would have gone that high. That's a ridiculous move right there. Oh my god, that's insane. So PALT's halted here. I'd imagine right at the open this thing's gonna tank. I don't know. That was super unexpected. I didn't expect a move like that for sure. I guess we'll wait for a pullback on it. I could potentially get in for a drop and buy the dip here. If it touches VWAP at 1067, I mean, it could potentially even drop below that. But if it does touch VWAP here, then I could potentially get in, but I definitely don't want to buy and get stuck in a halt going down. That's the last thing I want to do, because I've done that I don't know how many times, and then I try to buy into the halt going down and stuff, like average down, but never works out. So here's GROM. This is the one I was talking about earlier. This was on the scans, and now it's finally popping through VWAP. Let's see if this one actually gets halted. Curious to see whether this can even hold above VWAP. Wonder why. Let's check the spy. I wonder why PALT pops like that. I don't see any news on it or anything. That's just a crazy, crazy move there. Even if I got in at 1060 and held 300 shares right here for the VWAP break, even if that happened and that shot up like it did, that's immediately $300. It's a whole dollar move in one go. That's an insane move. So really interesting how that played out. Never seen something like that yet. I have seen stocks like Pixie. Pixie was probably the stock I traded the best on in my entire career. Pixie would, surge, and then tank. I'd buy the dip, and then boom, it'd rip. That was just the way that it moved. But this one was just so weird. Really impressive move there. So for this one, honestly, it can potentially go back to the highs. It's already almost at $12 here. It can potentially go back to the high with this type of volatility. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if it broke the daily high. So I think that's not my overall target, but that's like a long shot, but I wouldn't even be surprised. That could be, a goal in the back of my mind. But in the meantime, I'd just be trading small here with the 5 and 10 minute. It's just so confusing now with the 1 minute. 1 minute has a huge green candle with a lot of green volume. But then you have all these candles. You have what, 6, 7, 8 red candles in a row. I don't know how many times it rejected 11 already. We just counted as 3, and it's right at that level of rejection. So this is our third time here. Let's see if it can even if it holds, it's so extended. I need a pullback at this point. I'm not gonna get it. I don't want it to pull back too much either though. But the 5 minute looks really clean now, and the 10 minute obviously, I mean, that thing looks clean. It's clean right now. But whenever this opens, I mean, if we see a huge rejection back to 1060, then the 10 minute looks like super bad. The bid's showing 13 right here. I don't know why that is, but should resume at 1170 as of right now. Gotta wait like another 30 seconds or so. Go-go's popping up on the scans. Not sure if it's a big move or not. High float, about 50 million. Okay, so PALT here in 6 seconds. Alright, looks like it's going to be a 10-minute halt. So 9:42 is going to resume at 9:52. 9:52 and 6 seconds. I kind of want to keep it here though, because sometimes they open randomly. Usually it's supposed to be 5 and 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever. Sometimes they can go on like way beyond that, like an hour, 2 hours, days. But every now and then you'll get a couple that open, you know, completely randomly. I'm not sure why that is. I'd have to look into that, but that has been the case several times with some stocks. Indies popping on the scans here. A quick break over 12. Daily, I mean the day looks great now. LAC is also popping on the scans. GROM rejecting VWAP. About ride. So ride's kind of done. So nothing else is really moving at all. Could see a crawl on BLIN actually. Just no volume on this one anymore. It's curling. You can see it's curling towards VWAP. But there's like no volume in it. Indie back up. Big spreads though. About 6-cent spreads here. GROM. That's the one I was looking for. Jesus. I completely forgot about this one. That was a beyond obvious move. 5 minute was super clean. Even 1 minute was really clean. Jesus. That was a beyond obvious move. Completely forgot about this stock. PLT is going to open here in about another minute or so though. It's a nice one, whoever got this one. PLT, let's go ahead and keep this one on watch. I want to see what this is going to do at the open. Check on India real quick. India would be nice for the 10 and 5 minute break. It's just kind of sideways right now. And I don't like the spreads either. The spreads are pretty big. 6 cents spreads, and then it goes to 12 like that. Crazy. Going back to PLT though. Okay. So resumption here should be 1170, but it's showing on the ask. I don't know why, like I mentioned earlier, why the bid's showing 13 and 12 and all that, but it should be about 1170. So let's see what this wants to do. 5 minute looks okay, 10 minute looks okay, like everything looks solid so far, but I'm expecting a big drop out of the gates. Or at open, I mean. So let's see, 3 more seconds. Wow, it actually resumed at 13. That's insane. That's a crazy resumption. Not sure how it resumed that high. It's gonna go right into another halt. super extended already off of VWAP. I don't feel comfortable trading it up here yet. So this can definitely go for the daily high break is what it looks like with all this volatility in it. So there's back above 13, now it's back to 13, holding 13. See if we get a rip towards 14 here. Again, I don't feel comfortable trading it this high. Super extended right now. I'd want to see some sort of pullback, not just, you know, pullback at open here after the halt. 13 seems to be some sort of support. Support at the whole dollar, but the way it's hovering here at the 20s, not so sure. So we're back in the teens. See if we get the break at 13. It's holding 13 really well here. I'm gonna buy in here, 1342 for the break of 1350. See if we get a rip towards the high here in the 1 minute. 45. I want to see a quick. So I sold for a loss there. I'm gonna stop out because it never broke. It's just sideways, so sold for a, I don't even know how much that is. Pretty big loss. So here's a drop. Thankfully I stopped out early on that. Going for the 1350 break, but there's just so many sellers stacked up there, I guess. Hidden sellers, that it just wasn't breaking. 5 minute looks okay still, 10 minutes still, 10 looks alright. This has to get back above 13 though. Probably a little too aggressive on my part taking that entry there, but I only took it mainly because it wasn't breaking 13 just yet. It hadn't broken 13. It was holding 1320 for the longest time, so I was expecting a quick rip back above 1350 and then all the way back to 14, but obviously that didn't happen, so gotta really manage my risk on this one. So here's a rip back to 1340. Potentially see a rip through 50 here. So there's a touch of 50 again. Big sellers there at 50. We need to see those break. That's not a drop I wanted to see. Needs to get back above 13. So I definitely don't want to see it break down towards 12. If it can just crawl right here, I mean, we're looking solid for another test of 1350. Still think the daily has potential to break, but there's a break of 1250 now. RCAT's popping on the scans as well as Indy. So it pops back above 1250. Big spreads right now. Get in here. Trying to get an entry at 64, but wasn't filled. Get in once again here at 74. See if we can get the break of the high here. Hopefully get a rip to 13. So checking the ask and bid. 79, 80. 84, 5, 88, selling. So sold it. I was expecting a quicker rip there. Never broke. Had to stop out. 84, it went up to 88, and then came back to 74, and I didn't like to see that. I was expecting an immediate break here. I wanted to see it rip through 13, and then we can see, you know, not a potential move to 1350, but just a rip through 13. Now it's just kind of very difficult for this to even do anything. Right here, tapped 1350 twice, couldn't break it. Technically, I did it 3 times here, couldn't break it, or 4 times actually. And now we're having that same problem with 13 here. So here's 89, 90, 13, 15. That's the kind of rip I was looking for. So fortunately, it didn't happen on the candle I was in on. Now it's going to 1350. Jeez, that sucks. All right, we can reposition though. We can get in again, and we're gonna go for the 5-minute high, which is also 1350. So we're gonna go for that break. 10 minutes, same thing. 10 minutes all the way at 1395 though. So we're back at 13. So definitely could have taken an entry there. That would have been a quick 20-cent move. Didn't take it though. I'm fine if this drops like this. I just don't want to see it drop significantly. As long as it continues sideways like this, I'm okay. But if it drops all the way to 12 or something, then I don't know. Might just be done for the day. Because the 5-minute and 10 minutes still look okay. They don't look the best, but 5-minute definitely looks better than the 10. And if the 5 minutes looking good, we can definitely see a move higher back through 1350. So I want to see this finish high though, possibly above 13 if we can, because then I can see a rip to 1350 on the next 5-minute, which would look awesome if we can get that. So it's back above 13. I'm gonna buy in. Oh my god, okay, too late, super late on my end. See, we're back towards 13. 1330. Again, major resistance here at the 1330 and 1350 level. See if it breaks this time. Don't want to see a nasty flush, that's for sure. So it's 1340. Huge sellers right there at 50 though. Massive sellers. Don't like to see that. But we've tested this level I don't know how many times already, so it's either bound to break or just massively reject. It's made 2 higher lows so far, so let's see if we can get a rip. I'm gonna immediately sell once it breaks 1350. So there, I finished pretty low. That's okay, if we can get a 2 candle pullback, that's fine. Don't want to see it break 1250. Can touch 1250, maybe break like a couple cents below, but I don't want to see a significant drop. I want to see this pop back, but yeah, there you go. Now that's not what I was expecting. I didn't expect it to rip all the way to 1350 on this candle right there. That's kind of not what I wanted to see, but as long as it can hold 1320 or some area like that, I'm fine. Don't want to see a break on this candle though. That's going to be disappointing. 47, 50. So we kind of moved that seller for a second there. Yeah, now it's at 70. Like, that's not what I wanted to see. As soon as it broke right there, just massive rejection all the way back to 1280. It's just, I didn't want to see that. It would have looked a lot nicer if the next 1 minute actually set up properly and broke, but 10 minutes still looks okay, I guess. 1 minute's just pretty choppy here. It's just super sideways, really choppy. It's making me nervous. So a good thing is we broke 1350. What sucks actually is I'm down $47. Like, oh my god, that actually sucks. I was really expecting this thing to break, not significantly, just a quick scalp, but I was expecting this candle to actually break significantly, but obviously not. It was the next one, which also sucks because I basically watched the move I wanted happen without me. That's all right. I don't like the 1 minute MACD here. Kind of looks like it's crossing. Kind of nervous we're gonna get a big flush here pretty soon. So I could get in here at 1315 for a break of the 1 minute high, but I don't expect there to be anything wild. Yeah, like right here, I'd already be losing. So I think it's gonna reject. Like, I don't know. It's just sideways right now. It can't really tell what it wants to do. I mean, the 10 minute looks bad. If the next 10 minute opens looking like that, I mean, we can just see a move towards view out most likely. But right now it's just sideways at 13. I think I gotta give this one way more time because it's already 10:05. Normally I don't trade after 10, but so there's a break of the 1 minute. This 1350 spot is just massive resistance here. It's actually annoying. And I guess I can say I'm lucky walking away with a $47 loss. I mean, like really, I could have lost so much more. Definitely like $200 or $300 even. But I'm lucky enough to be walking away with that. I just really wish that the break over here was, you know, a lot better than what happened, but not much I can do. So here's the break of the 5 minute highs. What it's looking like. Let's see if we get a rejection here. So it's slowly climbing now. It's finally starting to make a move, but 10 minute high actually is going to break, it looks like. Jesus, 20-cent spreads right there. It's 1060 by 1360 by 1380. So there's the break of 14. I would have liked to get in there at 60, but when I was checking the ask, it was 1380. I don't want to buy that. It's a 20-cent loser right away. So here we're gonna see the break of 1350 maybe, a pullback candle, and we can see some continuation. But honestly, I think I'm kind of just done. I'm sure this one's gonna make big moves this afternoon. Sure, it's gonna break the daily high. Like, this thing has so much potential to. It's literally just $1 away, but I don't know. I want to wait for a better setup. This doesn't. It's so just. It's so choppy right now. Jesus. So I don't know. It's barely holding 1350. Like it took I don't know how many candles to break that level. And now that we broke it, I mean, we're above it, sure, but it's just still barely hovering above it. There was a quick snap through 14 there, but as you can tell, it's immediately rejected. So here's a break below 1350. So again, we're still fighting with this level. We just broke. 5 minute looks pretty bad now. 10 minute looks okay, I guess. I would like to see this finish a little higher. We see a rip through 14. I would want to go for the high day, 1520, and go for that daily break. But now the 5 minutes finishing kind of low here. Got another minute or so for the next one to open. To break below 13 now. So we just broke above 1350. Clearly couldn't hold it, and now we're barely holding 13. So honestly, this doesn't look super good. But like I said, I mean, yesterday I made a huge move. I was trading it around $8, and then I was like, okay, it's kind of done for today. Or I was done for the day, and then later in the afternoon, it went all the way up to 14. It's insane. So the MACD just crossed here. You gotta keep an eye on the RSI here on the 10 minute though. It's at 76. Break above 80 could be pretty bad. You can show that it needs a pullback at that point. 10 minute also doesn't look clean. 5 minute doesn't look clean. Nothing looks really good. So like I said, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna curl back up later this afternoon, but not feeling it. Not feeling it right now. Maybe right here for the 1 minute high break. I'm gonna take small size in it, or that's what we're gonna go for actually. I mean, I'm in here at 1320, looking for the break over the 1 minute high here. A lot of buying, nothing moving, selling, trying to sell. Shoot. So still can't get filled. So there you go. Just increased my loss there for you guys. And I, in the process, showed some stuff. But all right, that's what I get for staying around, I guess. FOMO. All right, we're finishing down $80 today. Not what I was hoping for. You know, big sellers stacked up here. You know, it kind of sucks. All this move went without me. This one right here, like I said, I wish I had better resolution on that candle I was in, but obviously the next one did it. This candle here could have got in, but I just, one, the spread, and then two, the price action was just super bad. I wasn't feeling it. It's just super choppy, super slow kind of, and I don't know. So this was definitely a mistake for me to take this trade here. I should have known right away, as it wasn't breaking 1320, that it was probably just going to fall. And I mean, that's why I tried to stop out. Tried to stop out at 17 for a small loss, but I ended up having to stop out for a 10-cent loss. So still not a big loss. I'm still down only $80 today, but not a necessary trade. I just gave myself another $30 loss there. So anyways, we're done for today. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here and see what the market has tomorrow.